Just got off a tram in Oslo at Ullevål Sykehus, which is a hospital, and I'm walking up the road to an address where this chap is selling a second-hand bass that needs a bit of work. It's a sterling sub bass of the Music Man make. I fell in love with a fretless bass that had markers for the fret positions, but I had him for repair about a month ago. Haven't been able to find one to buy, so I'm going to make one out of this fretted bass, which I'm picking up this afternoon. Looks like student halls of residence, probably medical students, or possibly even nurses' accommodation. Anyway, I'm in the greater campus of the Ullevål Sykehus. And I can see the building I'm headed for, which is a weird-ass kind of thing that looks like a air traffic control tower from the Second World War, made into flats. I don't know what it is really. It's funny when you buy stuff on Finn, which is this auction site in Norway. It's always a bit of an adventure. Either the people are very strange, or the place you go to is an address no one's ever heard of or something. So this looks like I'm going to an address that is just barely a household. We shall see. So here's the bass guitar. It's beautiful condition, except for one issue, which I'll show you in a second. It plays really nicely, and it is a sub-series, sterling sub-series. This is a Far Eastern produced version of the Music Man basses from California. Yeah, and the issue is this: one of the tuners has fractured, and you can pull it off. Hang on, why can't I pull it off? There, it's fractured, but inside there's a sort of a keying mechanism where a sort of internal screwdriver goes into a slot when you push them together, and so it still tunes. And you can use a screwdriver, but I've already sent for a replacement tuner off was it Finn or eBay? I can't remember. So yeah, this was 2,000 kroners, which is about £180. So this will go into my workshop, and I will pull the frets and make it into a fretless bass with markers. So at the moment I'm looking for a source of veneer, light coloured veneer, that I can glue into the slots, which will remain when I've pulled out the frets. So that's enough for now. I decided I was going to do the fretless bass conversion using veneer, wood veneer, to put into the empty slots once the frets have been pulled. But buying veneer, at least in this part of Norway, is really difficult. And in the end, after phoning around and asking around, the only place it seemed I would be able to get it was a place called Oslo Veneer. Veneer. I think that's the origin of the word. It's a factory, only about 5 miles from where I live. And I phoned them up, and the lady said, yeah, we still do veneer in real wood, different thicknesses, etc., but we can't sell to private individuals, only companies. And do you need 250 meters or 500? So I explained the situation to her, that I was just a guitar fixer-upper. And we chatted a bit and got friendly, and then she agreed that she would just give me a sample. And so I've just come back from there. I rode the motorbike over. I'm actually sitting on it right now. And there she had left me a piece of veneer in an envelope, and I left her a big bar of chocolate. So here is the veneer. going to pull out the highest of these frets and then see what kind of slot there is and see how my veneer fits. If I have to glue 2 sheets of veneer together to make it thicker, then I'll know. So that's my first stage. Okay, so the strings are off, and I think it'd probably be a good idea to clean the area around this fret while the fret's in, so I don't push any dirt into the slot. Okay, it was surprisingly dirty. So now I have my soldering iron heated up, which has a, you can't really see it, a groove filed into the end to heat up the fret that I'm going to pull. Pull? I'm going to pull out. We're all turning into Americans. Pull. The fret that I'm going to remove. Okay, so here we go. We're heating it. I'm going to put a drop of water on as well, actually. And now using these fret pulling pliers, I'm going to take the fret out. Making a slightly unpleasant noise. But it's out. I'm hoping to save these frets. They're pretty sturdy because they're bass frets and they don't get all bent as you pull them out. So I'll save them. My fingers. There's something at this end of the fret slot here, obstructing the groove. And it looks like somebody's run super glue in at the as part of the process of installing the frets. So I'm going to have to put a couple of strokes of a saw into this slot. So it's going to be this strange looking thing. It's a Japanese saw. Fits in the groove, that's good. Okay, that's it. Now we'll test out the veneer. I fear the veneer might be too thick, not too thin. We'll see in a second. It's a tight fit, so a few more strokes with the Japanese saw are probably what I need to do. Yeah, I think I do. I don't want it to be such a tight fit, so I'm going to go with this size, 36.036 of an inch. Nut file. Well, as it turns out, my other fret saw, this one, is much better. The nut files are just too slow. So that's great. This works. You have to be careful because it's a draw saw. So you have to push it in and then carefully draw it backwards. But it's done the job. And I'm just about to glue this in. And see how that goes. Just using wood glue. There's a line of wood glue, and into that we will push the piece of veneer. I'm assuming this is the right thing to do. Get it seated and then wipe away the excess, I guess. Apparently Jaco Pastorius did this in the crudest possible way. Just got a kitchen knife and ripped out the frets and pushed a mixture of glue and glitter or sawdust or something in. So maybe I'm overthinking this. Okay, so we'll let that dry. So that's about 10.5 minutes long, and I think that's enough for part one. So we went as far as getting the bass, bringing it home. I actually played it on several YouTube postings in the interim, because it's now the end of August, early September, and I've now taken out the highest fret and fitted a piece of veneer and glued it in. Watch this space for the next part.